everybody. Thank you for stopping by. It's Sunday. It's been a beautiful day. I've been working slowly. Still not feeling great, but I've been working slowly on my Ballet Dreams journal kit. This is a kit by Doreen, and its name is Ballet Dreams. I just said that. And I have been trying to come up with a cover for months, and I've finally come up with one. I've tried several, and they're not what I want, but I think I've finally figured out what I want. So I thought that before I go any further, I would turn on my camera just in case anybody else ever wanted to do something like this. They could come back and refer to it. So what I have done is I have some antique linen, which is this. And this has been ironed, and I also starched it so that I could get a good, good square corners. Although I frayed them when I tore it, then I spray starched it so that it would be, nice and square because this is going to be the inside. For this, I took a piece of linen and I printed on it. And the way that I printed on it was by taking a double-sided sheet, not a double-sided sheet, I'm sorry. I just took a sheet of sticky paper, 8.5 by 11, which when you print it doesn't come out 8.5 by 11. It comes out a little bit shorter, if you can see on the edges. So I don't typically use this, but because I'm using linen and I didn't want to put the linen on any kind of a book board or anything, but I still wanted some sturdiness, I'm not going to peel the linen off like I did, for example, I'll show you. Like when I printed these on the linen, this is a different kind of linen, but it's about the same. So, well, it's a little bit heavier, and it's got a pattern in it, but once you print on it, you can't see the pattern. But see what happens when you print on it. It gets kind of flimsy. So I needed, of course, being the cover, I needed it to be more sturdy. So what I decided to do finally, after several attempts, I only printed on the linen once, but after several different attempts of different things to try, I've come up with this idea because I still want to keep that very, just the nice soft linen, but keep it sturdy enough to be a cover. It's only going to be one signature, but it will have many items in it. And I'll show you some of the things I've made off camera since I started creating with this at least a month ago, if not longer. I know it's been longer. It's been since before Christmas, I think. But I want to finish it. So what I've done is I printed the linen. I took the linen. I placed it on, the sticky paper. And I ran through my printer. And then I left it on this, which I'm leaving it on there. Then I cut another piece of linen, and I've got another piece of 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to place this on this. So I'm going to take this away for now, because I might need it again, because I want to make sure that I get this nice and even. And when I do print on anything, this I happen to be printing on antique linen, and as you can see, it's very antique. It's very thin. It's not heavy at all, but it's beautiful. And I know that it's antique because it's mine. It belonged to my mother-in-law, whose dad brought it back. He was in the army, and he brought it back from, I believe it was China, this particular linen tablecloth that I am so fortunate to own. And the only reason why it's being cut up is because there's many different holes here and there in it, probably due to age. Well, I know it's due to age. because I keep it nice. You know, it's in my hope chest, but there's nothing you can do about that. You know, it's just, it's so old. I mean, it should be 107, and it was her dad that brought it back from China to her mom. He was, like I said, he was in the army, and he would bring back, you know, many different linens and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just peel it off. It just peels off, and it's 8.5 by 11 sticky label paper. If you're looking for it, they have it on Amazon. Don't throw these away, because I do other things with these as well, and I'll do a video on those things later. So now you've got this, which is very sticky on this side, and I'm going to move that, place this here, so I know that it's square when I put my piece down. And it frays very easily, and so the starching helped stop that once I got it all square. Starching it helped stop the fraying, and I know that this will stop it completely. So now all I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring my light over for a second, just so that I can kind of see through the linen and make sure that I'm placing it right where I want it. And I can kind of see through this. It's already sticking to it. So I'm just going to place it down carefully, and then I'm just going to spread it out. And take it on the other side and just make sure that's stuck. That's not going anywhere. But see how it's not 8.5 by 11? Once you, well, I don't know. This might not even be 8.5 by 11. This is, yeah, the sticky part, this, once you take it off, is only 10 3/4. So anyway, that's that. So now it's on there nice and good. It's not coming off. You don't have to glue it, which is great, because that was my problem. How can I put something on this and not have any glue seepage? Because like I said, look how thin it is. I can even take more threads off of that, but I really don't want that to fray any more than it already is, because like you can see, one side is frayed more than the other. So then here's my next thought. What did I do with that piece? So my next thought, to keep it nice and sturdy, was, now I was going to put some cardstock. I was gonna, you know, do all that kind of stuff to make it more sturdy. But it's, if I don't remove this and leave it on here, just like I have with this, then it kind of turns into more of a paper. So I decided, and if I put cardstock or anything under this, right, when I go to fold it, I'm going to have that crease that you get when you fold. I don't know, I might not, but I still might. And I don't want to take that chance. Now see, I have a lot of fringe here that I'm going to have to trim off, but that's okay. I can do that after I do this. So what I thought is just keep the backings on to this, and that will keep it nice and sturdy. And then when I go to put my signatures in, I'm going to have to cut them probably down a little bit. Maybe not, because I'm going to be adding lace to it. And then when I put my signatures in, I still think that it will, because I'm going to glue this together, I think it would still make a really nice cover without having to, you know what I just remembered? I was going to put some Tyvek and put this underneath this, but now I can't because I already glued that. So I could do the Tyvek, and I'll have to do this on the outside, which is fine because the signatures will go in there, and it's still linen, and I still think it will look nice. I was going to put the tie back underneath this and this, and then put this on, which I could still do, but I'm afraid that if I tear this off, it's going to stretch the linen, and I don't want to do that. What I actually want to do, because this is bugging me, is I want to cut up some of this fringe, or this fraying, and I'm using my fabric scissors. I want to cut up some of this, just because it's bugging me. And I'm going to add lace and things like that to the edges. You have no idea how long it's taken me to figure out a cover for this. I have so many fabrics out and so many papers and linens, and I've gone through all the papers of the kit, and I just keep coming back to the linen. I don't know why, but I do. I did, so that's fine. So good. There we go. Let me just take that little piece off right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, just so that I know it won't move while I glue this to this, and see, I'm only going to glue the paper. I'm not going to glue those edges because this was smaller. And I might have to trim up here a little bit, but I figured I would do that after, once, you know, the cover was all set together. So now I'm going to have to dangerously glue this onto my wool mat that I use for like slow stitching, and when I press anything, you know, when I do any pressing or anything in my studio, I use my mat. So now what I thought I'd do is just put it on and make sure that I'm good to go. And I think, well, I'm going to be doing lace, so it really doesn't matter. I've also been through all my laces and appliques for 2 days trying to find something to go on it. My jewelry for the clasp. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. I'm going to turn it this way because I think that's the way I had it originally. I did. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, and you don't have to do it this way. I am just a perfectionist and I can't not be. I've tried. It's just the way I am. Just the way I was made. Nothing I can do about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a few pins and I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up good. There. And there. And then, see now down here, I'll trim it a little bit, but that's okay. I know that I'm on that white piece that I said that I was going to glue together to put the two pieces together and not have any glue seep through the linen. And you could do this with any kind of fabrics. I mean, you can print on cotton, you can print on linen. The only thing with printing on linen that I found, cotton as well, but I don't print on cotton a lot because I'm fortunate enough to have the linen, is that you can see that even if you put it on your best setting, your colors will mute, which is fine, especially with the pattern that, you know, with the paper that I chose. And I had so, as you can see, I had so many to choose from. And I'll go through this so that you can see all the papers. Well, not all the papers, because I don't have all the papers in here. And I don't have all the papers I'm putting in here yet. These are just the ones I've shown so far. But in any event, I'll go through that, you know, in a second. So, okay. So now everything is down. I know that everything lines up good. And I'm just going to peel this back. And I think I'm going to use my, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my tacky glue. I know that it works. or should I use my Fabri-Tac? Decisions. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. The last time I used my tacky glue on paper that was a little bit slick, it didn't stay. Even though I'm going to sew around this, I did get some places where it didn't stick completely. So I am going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac. I don't use it a lot because it destroys my hands, but I am going to go ahead and use it. So what I'm going to do is just lift this up here, and I'm going to start applying my glue. Maybe. I haven't used this in so long, it may be gummed up. Hold on one second, please. And I'm going to have a little sip of my tea. I'm having some iced tea to keep me from coughing or what have you. So I'm just going to lift it up as far as it will go, and I'm just going to start putting down my Fabri-Tac and making sure that, you know, it's all over there. And like I said, I'm going to glue around the edges anyway, but I still want it to be, I don't want it to ever come apart. Well, we don't ever want our journals to come apart, so. I still have journals I made 3.5 years ago, and none of them have come apart, so I guess I'll keep doing what I'm doing, right? Not change anything. And you can, this is, you know, same as 3-in-1, you know, Beacon 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac, or a PVA would work fine. I just am out of it. PVA is a nice strong glue, and it works fabulous on everything, so. But I am out of it, so. Now I need to get those bumps out of there. So I'm just going to kind of spread that glue around, trying not to get it on that linen. And this will come off real easy with some, with my hand sanitizer. So that part is glued. Hold on one second. My trusty brayer, which works on everything. Some of you may not even be interested in something like this, but I did do a painted cover, and I really wish now I had had the confidence to go ahead and do the whole thing on. I got that all already. Okay, so now I'm just gonna come down here, pin this down, and pin this down, and I'm gonna pull back what hasn't been glued yet, which is here. This is a beautiful kit. It really, really is. And I've been wanting to work on it, but I knew that I knew that I wanted the right cover, and I could not move any further until I figured out what I was going to do for the cover. And like I said, I've made a couple of other things. I've worked on some ephemera, but it's gotten to a point now where it's like, okay, buckle down and figure out the cover. So here's my thought. It might not work, but I tried. And like I said, if you want it more sturdy, you absolutely could put, you know, a piece of cardstock, you know, lightweight cardstock, or even more, like maybe a 70-pound paper under. I just wanted to keep it more as close to being a linen cover as I could, without it actually being just linen. Because like I said, it's very thin and fragile. think I'm good on the glue. I mean, it might look like I'm doing a lot, but it's coming out in little like streams because I've got it so close to the paper. So now all I'm going to do is make sure it's under there real good. Fold this up. Kind of good that I didn't put the tie back and stuff underneath here first, because I think you would have seen it through the front and that wouldn't have been good at all. So that was a good mistake. Or a good, okay, that worked. Now I know for next time. Because like I said, this is my first time ever trying something like this. So now you've got no glue seepage through this part or this part, because you've got those two, and then that's pretty sturdy since I didn't take off. Since I didn't take this off, you've got this and you've got this, and this is hard to tear, very hard to tear. Shiny on one side, which is where the sticky was, and then it's flat on this side, and I do use this a lot. So in a lot of my projects, I don't throw them away. So let me just roll it one more time. Just get a piece of paper so I don't get anything on it. This tablecloth is huge, huge. My father-in-law was a colonel. My husband's grandfather was a colonel. And so they would have lots of very fancy dinners and things like that. And so this tablecloth is huge. I mean, I don't know what kind of dining room table they had, but it must have been pretty large, because I think this tablecloth probably would have sat, oh God, at least 12 people, maybe more. And it's called a dragon cloth. It's got, you know, some dragons and things on it in different spots, which you're going to avoid when you're using it for things like this. And I've used it a couple of times, you know, in my lifetime. So now all I'm going to do is kind of go along this edge where I didn't get glue and just use my good old faithful, you know, it's not going anywhere. Won't even come out of the bottle. As you can see, I have not been crafting a lot in the last couple of days. Everything is stopped up. Just get rid of these pins. And I'll bring you along when I start working on the rest of it, if you are interested. In the ephemera part of it. I love this page. It's one of my favorites. It's got the cello. It's got the ballet. It's got the point shoes. It's got a tiara. Some pearls. It's just beautiful. You will see that I danced for, since I was a very little girl, ballet and tap when I was younger. And then I was fortunate enough to dance with the Boston Ballet when I was 16. And my first performance was with Swan Lake, and a lot of this has Swan Lake in it, so I was pretty happy about that. And there's just no other digital I've ever seen to make something like this that I would consider even close to being what a true ballet, you know, going to a ballet would be like. It's got everything in it. Literally everything that you'd need to portray going to the ballet or being part of a ballet company or what have you. It's very romantic. So it's not just for people who danced at one time or even, you know, if you like going to the ballet or watching ballets or even, you know, watching people perform in the ballet, it's a kit for you. And it's not all. I mean, there's several things that, you know, that you can use this kit for other than the ballet, for sure. Like all of her kits, they're very interchangeable. I'll be using some of her other kits in this particular kit, and I'll point those out as we go along. That's if I can get them off of my old computer. My old computer, I dropped it and it broke. So I'm missing 2 of her kits. So I'm trying to retrieve any of those that I didn't get off Etsy. Anything that I've ever gotten off of Etsy, I was able to retrieve off of Etsy because they keep your files forever. Anything you've ever bought is there, so you can re-download it, which was heaven. Okay, I think that's good. So now that's my cover. That is nice and sturdy. Feels good. I think it looks beautiful. Now I have to put down that piece of Tyvek and the piece of linen, which will go right here. And the Tyvek I'm using only because it's nice and sturdy. It won't tear. Where did that? It's nice and sturdy. It won't tear. And you'll have your journal forever if you use it. I use it underneath everything. Even if I'm using a good heavy cardstock or what have you, I'll use a piece of Tyvek if I can find it. So, make sure that's long enough. Without that black showing, I can cut it off. It just gives the name of the Tyvek that I purchased. So I'm going to put this down first, and then I'm going to put my piece of linen over it. Yes. Will it not show? Yes. Even if it does, like I said, the signature's going in there, so it wouldn't be a big deal, but so yeah, that will go like that, and then fold, make sure that's the middle, fold like this, and then my signatures will slide in there. Let me mark this middle before I put it down. See, I told you I'm a perfectionist. So I'll just mark this middle where I'm going to put it down. And I don't want to press on it because I don't want it to be I don't want there to be a crease in there. So I'm just going to mark this where the middle is, which is right there. Like where I'd be putting my signatures through. Right there. Okay then. Wow, that's almost on that piece. Can you see in the camera there was like a line and a thread, you know, like a woven thread, and it is right about in that middle, which is, I did not plan that. That's just a happy accident. So now what I'm going to do is put this piece of tie back down, and I am going to use this. Maybe I'll put a piece of linen underneath the tie back first. What do y'all think? Well, I could always double up on the linen if I had to. So, I don't have to because, like I said, the tie back doesn't tear. It just won't go anywhere. It's nice and thin. Can't believe I'm doing this. Hold on. Let me just move over here. I hope I'm still in frame. I'm only gluing the tie back. I just don't want to glue it on my flannel board because then I get glue on that, and that would be good. I can move the board now that I'm not needing to pin. So I've got plenty of, this is art glitter glue in this bottle. Don't ask why I chose to use this. I probably should have used the Fabri-Tac, but it's okay. It'll work. Let's hope. So I'm just going to kind of spread this so that there's no lumps and bumps. Then I'm going to move this. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I lost my center. I see it. And I'm just going to put the tie back down right there. Yeah, that worked very well. Let me just get this and wipe it off with some of my hand sanitizer and get that Fabri-Tac off so I can reuse it. And I think for this, I will go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and use the Fabri-Tac. Or should I use the art glitter? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm going to use the art glitter glue. So I'm just going to put some on here and spread it so it doesn't seep through. And if it does, I'll put a second piece on it. I'm not putting that much because I'm going to spread it around. Spread this around a little bit. Very brave doing this on camera. I am very proud of myself because I could have failed. But like I said, that would have been okay. You know, when you have something in your mind, you just have to go for it. And like I said, it's just, I've been through too many tries on a cover for this, and everything was just it just wasn't working. I did the paper bag thing, and no, I didn't like that. And then I did the bubble wrap, the packaging, you know. It's got some bubbling in it that you use to send out packages in. I know that was too thick and bulky. And then I tried using only one side of the bubble. And that still was just too bulky and just wasn't working well. So I just kept going back to what I originally thought, and this is what I came up with. So now everything is nice and glued down, and I'm glad I did go ahead and use that because it did not seep through, and it's not going to come off. Except I didn't put enough down here, so I'll go ahead and put some more. And just spread it a little bit so it just seep through. And I'll just make sure up here the same, which I really think that was off of it anyway, but someplace, you know, where I have to cut it off. Now, I'm wondering if I should put this, go down with this way, or just cut it even. I may just cut that. Yeah, I don't need to go down on that at all. I'll just cut that so that it's even with that. I have to get my sewing scissors, which I don't know if I brought them over here or not. I did. I usually keep them with my sewing machine, but I'm just going to cut this off here and cut this off here. And as you can see, this is really, especially with the glue, I'm finding it really stiffened up well. It's very sturdy. So go ahead and pull out that linen that you're hoarding, like me, and use it, because it is fabulous. It goes through my printer very well, and all I have is an HP. I'm going to trim that. I'm also going to be adding lace to the edges. So there you go. There you have your linen cover. And if, let me see, what time is it? 37. I think I have enough time to go through what I've already made for this, if you would like to see it. They're very sweet. One took me all day, which I never expected. I'm going to trim this later after I know it's nice and dry and everything is nice and stable. I'll trim this up, because what I'm going to do is trim it until it's just so far, and then fray it so that I don't lose those fringed edges. Because I'm not putting lace, well, I might, I don't know. I went through all my laces. I did find one lace that I really love for the edge. I'm not going to put this on yet, which is the back, which is the front. This is going to be one of the laces I put along the edge. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. So anyway, and I do have enough of that, so I'm really happy. So I just snipped off enough to do the both edges. I have a whole box of appliques. I've gone through, I can't even tell you how many appliques. I found one that I really liked. It's not vintage. I know it's not vintage because all this wouldn't be on there. And I thought that would be so pretty, but I only have one, so that wouldn't work. Then I found this one, and it had a lot of really pretty different colors in it. This isn't vintage either, because it just wouldn't be like this. They wouldn't have these pearls and things on it. But I thought I might cut some of these out because it's got some different colors in it. So I may still do that. Then I found, this is from a wedding dress that I took apart. So I could cut pieces. I'd have to resew those on. I do resew all the pearls on my vintage wedding dresses that I take apart and wash. And So after I put the lace on, then maybe some of this on there. And then I have 1,000 pieces of more of a different wedding dress that I could cut up and just, you know, put on corners. And then I remembered I had these little fabric satin bows, which I thought might be really darling. You know, just enough with the laces. This is just one lace. I might do a double layer of lace, like do lace like this and then a different lace over the top. My antique laces are all very, very ecru, or they're not white. And this is so white. Everything is so white that I had to stick with a white. This is vintage lace, but it's pretty much my only white lace that I like for it. So like this would go on here like this, and then I may add another layer of lace over this. And then just to add something, I may do something like that. So that's, I'm pretty sure these little satin bows will probably be, and like I said, I have so many appliques and I've been through so many, it's been frustrating. But, so that's what I'll do. So far with this kit, which is absolutely beautiful, these are the pages, or some of the pages, and these are what I've chosen. This will be my center spread. This is another page. Here's another page. It's very real looking. It's so real looking. And that's this side. I love the gloves. And she's got some appliques in here, so I may use those wedding appliques. There's another one here. There's some up here. Another page. Ballet Studio. Here's another page. I printed these on fabric and used them. Love that background. Another page. Another page. Now this is just a little bit different. This one's more pink than this one. And then there's that center spread. Again, another one of my favorite pages. So there is some of my signature that I'll be using. And then so far off camera, I have created a mini journal. This was the first thing I created. I had to make something with it right away, so I came up with this. And this is just some of the point shoes that I fussy cut, and then I put some glossy accents on it to make it stiffer. And then I just added a little key and a heart and a piece of lace here for the side. And then this is on fabric, and it's completely covered in lace, and it's made out of a glassine bag. And then I put the signatures in with some wax linen thread, and then I cut this up and used all the flowers here and there. So, and this is the only piece of applique I have, so I can't use it for the other journal because I don't have any more. This was the only piece that I had. So, I wish I had more of it, but I don't. But anyway, so that's the cover, and this is the back, and this is the spine. And then I took one of the postcards, cut it down, and I put some tulle over it. And then this is printed on fabric, and I backed it with one of the pages. So that's that. And then this is just one of the pages. And then here is some postcards. I just put some glossy accents to highlight some of the beading in the applique. And then this is just another one of those. I haven't rounded the corners on those yet. I have to do that. And then this is just some handmade paper, avocado stain paper. This is just an over the book flip, over the page flip. You don't really need a paper clip. I just thought it looked cute. So it's basically for aesthetics. But what I did was I took several of my scraps that I used for this particular journal and I put them all together like that. And then this is the back. So when you flip it over, that's what you see on the back. So it's just like a scrappy pad, but not inside anything. I guess that's why I had the paper clip there, because I wanted to cover that up. And I had that rose in my stash, so I just put that there. And then it just slides over the page. Yeah, that's why I put that paper clip there. It's to hold that rose there, so that it still looks pretty when you turn the page. I suppose I could have glued it down. Oh, here it is. So just put this little heart back on. Another one of the pages. This is me dancing in Swan Lake. And then this is just a little card that I tucked in. And I think this is part of the ephemera, and I may have cut it out to look like a heart. I think I did. And then I used some spackle, and I colored the spackle with some Distress Ink Oxide into my spackle. And I got it to be pink. I haven't been able to get it pink yet, and I finally was able to get pink by adding the Distress Oxide to it. And then here, I cut these flowers out of a magazine so that I could get all the different colors in the different flowers that I put here. So I just took a magazine page. I think it was linens or something. I don't remember. I think this might have been a bedspread. And I just put my flowers on it, ran it through my die cut machine, and that's how I got all the different colors in the flowers. And then here is a little booklet that I made. So it's got a little doily, some tracing paper, that favorite page again, and then it's just a scrappy book. There's the center. Nope, that's not the center. Or maybe it is. Nope. It's got a lot of pages in it. This is the center. And I put a little heart and key. Piece of doily. And this has all different papers and textures and things like that. And that's that. My little booklet. Tea stained paper. And then just scraps. And then back here I have another piece that is been stitched onto this backing. And I printed this on tracing paper. So it feels really nice. And the linen feels really nice. And then I have two more postcards. So I have this postcard. Oh no, I guess just one in here. And backed it with that backing, which I love. Even if you got the kit for the background pages, it would be well worth it. I'm just saying. And then that slides right in here. And like I said, I printed on paper, and then I put the tulle on it. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but it's got kind of a holographic like sort of like a all different color little sequence on it. And then this is fabric here, and it's sewn onto that, and this is sewn onto the cover. So what I did was I don't even remember what I did. I still have to make a tag for here. Oh no, I did put a tag in there. There's one. I backed it onto, I did it on tracing paper, and I backed it onto the pink avocado. I didn't think I made those yet, but I guess I did. So like I said, this is the bag. So it's got the pockets for the 2 tags that I put in there, the 2 journaling cards. And again, I think what I did was I sewed these onto, after I put all the laces together, I sewed these onto the laces, and then I glued everything to the glassine bag. Okay, so that's how I did that one. And then I made even a smaller one, which I love. And you just open it up like this, and I'll hold it up closer to the camera. I just put a little bit of ribbon in there. This has a ton of pages, so I probably won't be able to go through the whole thing because it would take forever, but it's adorable. And it measures, this one measures, let's see, 6.5 by 4. So that's 6.5 by 4. This one I think is 3 by 1. So this one is 3 inches by 1.25 inches, and it has a 1/4 inch spine. So this is the cover. Here, and I put the tulle underneath before I glued it all together. These have tags. Okay, so you open this up. I had shown somebody. I just put, anywhere there was white, I stenciled a rose. Am I doing this the right way? Yes. So this is the first page. Yeah. So that's the first page. That closes like that. I just have to find out where these tags go. I have a little spot. And the second page, and you open it up. It says romantic. You can flip that up and put some quotes or something underneath there. This opens up. And then does this open up? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, somehow. Yeah. So it opens up like this, and then this opens up like that. So there's a little flap there. Oh, and then behind here is a little pocket where you can put a little something in there. And then another page that goes this way. I know I have little tabs where my little these go. I just don't remember where they go. That opens up. I put a piece of washi. She does have washi, so I made a whole bunch of washi for it. This is just too cute. Now, why do I have a paper clip there? I don't know. Oh, because I put a piece of paper in there to write on. You can see I made this a while ago. This is a little belly band, and I did have something in there. I just don't remember what. Oh, it's in there. It's just a little piece that folds down to write on. It's just like a little envelope. And that goes inside the belly band, right like that. I should put a little pearl or something there to remind people or remind myself. That's there. again, another piece of paper. Just folds out like this so that you can write. That keeps it closed. Hold on. Keeps it closed like that. And we're at the end. Now, if I could only find where those tags, I put a little divot where those tags slide in, but I can't find them. Oh, there's one. They're very small. So there's one tag. Or is that two tags? That's two tags. So that slides right in here, like here. And I won't go through the whole book looking for them because they're hard to see, at least for me. So that slides right in like that. And there's many more, obviously. There's one, there's two more. If I go through it, I'll be able to find them once I go through it, because you can't really see the little. There's one. So there's a tag here, and that goes in here. And then I don't know where the third one goes. I'm sorry. I think I showed it one other time to somebody. I don't remember who, and I just didn't put it all back together again. I'll look for the third one. I'm not going to take your time now looking for that third one. But that is that, and then it just ties back up again. But it's like a real little journal, only it's teeny tiny. And all of these are going to go together in a, I'm going to make a little clutch purse for all three to go into. And I will show you that when I get ready to do it. But I thought, you know, when you go to the ballet, you'd bring a clutch purse with you, of course, to put your lipstick in and things like that. So I thought, well, I'll make a clutch purse for it all to go into, and then it will be completed. So there's that. I'll remember to put that back in. And there's that. And now I can move forward with this because it's just, I love it. I don't know what I'm going to put on these sides yet. Probably something fabric. And I can still sew through this, which is nice. I'll still be able to put, you know, because I do have still many things that that I've done on fabric that I can put, you know, I can put on the inside covers. Oh no, I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to slow stitch it because otherwise the stitching will show on the inside, the outside. So I'd have to, if I did that, I'd have to stitch around it and then glue it. But I have many different ones of those, so I'll go through that and see if I want to even put anything there. But there you go. And let's see if our signatures are going to fit. I might have to cut them down a little bit, but you do anyway once you put all your signatures together. But that's going to look great. And again, once I add the laces and, you know, the different things, the pearls and things like that, I think it's going to look very stunning. I hope. But the signatures are in there. It feels good. It feels nice and sturdy. I love it. I'm very pleased. I hope you like it too. If I've inspired you in any way today, or I think I jumped right in and didn't ask how you were doing. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope that you have a great rest of your Sunday. And if I have inspired you in any way, and you're a new person here visiting for today, if you're inspired in any way, please do consider subscribing. And to Doreen, thank you very much for allowing me to be so late on my design team project. I really appreciate your kindness and your generosity. And of course, your kids are gorgeous. So thank you. For now, until I see you again, be well, be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye, y'all.